Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to go through some of the best savings accounts options here in Canada, as well as some ETF alternatives, places to park your money if you just got some cash sitting around that you're not sure what to do with. You don't really want to invest it yet. So we're going to look at some good high yield savings options as well as ETFs where you can park that cash. Guys, as always, nothing here is financial advice. Go ahead, smash that like button. I would really appreciate it. And having said all that, let's jump into the video. So first, I just want to point something out when it comes to a lot of these cash, sort of high interest savings ETFs. You're going to notice that a lot of them are going to trend in this very similar linear direction where they kind of trend up, then they pay out, then they trend up and they pay out, and they're very stable. They're usually within just a couple of cents, right? So you see that with cash, you see that with T-Cash, ZMMK, which is actually a money market fund, but same thing. You're basically seeing the prices stay within a couple of cents of what the NAV is, and then they pay you out on a monthly basis. So we're going to go through all of these here in just a second. I just wanted to point that out. And then when you look at some of the ETFs, like this one isn't exactly a savings ETF. We are going to check this one out, but you can see that the NAV trend is much different because there's some equity exposure and some dividend funds and stocks and stuff like that within this fund. So let's start out with Tangerine, guys. Tangerine made the cut. They're offering 4.5% for up to 5 months. So that's a pretty good rate. I don't know what it drops down to after that, but you would have to see Tangerine. They would probably drop that rate down after 5 months is up. Next up is Simply Financial. I've actually heard pretty good things about Simply Financial, though I've never used them. They have this 4.5% interest rate on deposits up to 100,000. Again, that's pretty good. And then you can see here, these are their annual rates and based on different amounts that you have. Personally, guys, as I said, never use Tangerine, never use Simply, but they are offering those 4.5% rates right now. Neo Financial, I've actually heard quite a bit of good things about. Again, I've never used them, but they are offering 3% interest rates. So again, CDIC insured with these types of institutions, and they have a $20,000 threshold to get that 3%. So that's pretty good, I think. We have Oaken here offering 2.8%. I'd never heard of Oaken until I started looking into the high yield savings accounts today. So this could be another interesting one. This is Oaken. I guess they're a Canadian bank. And again, you do get that CDIC coverage on your accounts, which is always nice. Wealthsimple, guys, this would be my pick personally, because although the rate's a little bit less, you can see your registered savings account at 2.25%. It's just an all-in-one platform where you can get USD accounts, you can use checking accounts, pay bills, invest, manage all your investments in different accounts, TFSAs, RSPs, etc. So although their registered savings account is on the lower end, you could also use Wealthsimple as a platform if you want to buy some of the savings ETFs that we're going to look at in just a second. EQ Bank also has a pretty good rate right now, and I have used EQ Bank before. So they're looking at between 2.3 to 2.75%. Again, I think EQ is one of those digital banks, so they can offer higher rates, but you're not going to have some of the features of the big banks in here, but 2.75% is not bad. So those are basically the main banks, you guys, that you could open up a savings account with and get, up to 3% or 4.5% on a promo. Now we'll look at some of the ETFs because we do have some very popular cash management ETFs here. So we've got, this one is TD Cash Management, T-Cash, and this one is got a yield of about 2.75%. So that is pretty good for an ETF. We've also got one from 9 Point here. You can see that they hold some short-term bonds, some corporate bonds, mortgage-backed securities, and stuff like that. They're paying out a current yield of about 2.64%. Got some T-bills and stuff in there as well. And we've got BMO here. So BMO actually has a couple of options. So they've got ZMMK, which is the BMO Money Market Fund. They've got a current yield of about 2.1%. Risk rating is low, and they've got close to 6 million AUM. And we've got CSAV from CI. This is the CI High Interest ETF. So this one is, they've got a pretty big AUM, 4.8 billion with a yield of 2.21%. So this is also rated as a low risk fund. So this could be another potential option if you're looking to park some cash. I'll get to my personal favorites in just a second, guys. So we've got this one from Purpose Investments, PSA, 2.35% yield on this one. And then you've got this one from Global X. This is the cash, 1.7% distribution on this one. So this one is pretty low even compared to some of the savings accounts that you could get. Again, with these ETFs, they're pretty liquid. You could just jump in and jump out as you need. But also if you have a savings account, likely it should be the exact same as that. Now I'm going to look at two alternatives here, and then I'm going to give you guys my personal choice. So BMO has the ZMI, BMO Monthly Income ETF. They've got a yield of about 3.5%. Risk rating is low to medium. Now, we did look at this one in the stocks app just a few minutes ago, but basically, you guys, this one holds 8 different holdings. They've got the BMO corporate bonds in here, BMO US dividend ETF, BMO Global High Dividend Covered Call ETF, BMO Canadian Dividend ETF, and then they've got BMO US midterm bonds. So you can see here that they've got like a blend of bonds, dividends, premium yields. So they've got like a few different things in here, and that is going to, just dial up that risk rating a little bit. So instead of low, they are low to medium. And as we looked at earlier, that share price can fluctuate a little bit, but then you do get a little bit of a higher yield, about 3.5% with ZMI. My personal choice, you guys, would be something like Canoe EIT. I know this is not a savings account, and some people may say it's risky, but I've actually seen some videos here on YouTube of people talking about Canoe EIT, how they just treat it like a savings account, which depending on your risk tolerance may not really sound the best. But to me, it kind of makes sense because you are trading off some, NAV fluctuations for that higher yield. Right now, you're still getting a yield of over 7%. And again, you guys, this is going to be, a blend of different stocks that they have chosen here. But to me, that's pretty much what I would go with. I would go with Canoe EIT and maybe some cash in the Wealth Simple, which is basically what I personally do, you guys. I don't really hold too much cash, an emergency fund with a couple of $1,000s. I prefer to have everything invested in the market and working for me. But if you do have some cash that you're not sure what to do with, or you need to sit on, these are all some options to look at, you guys. If you're banking with one of the big banks and you're getting hit with fees and stuff like that, could be worth to, take a look into some of these other options. As long as the bank isn't charging you fees, my own opinion here, we just have so many different options out here now that we shouldn't be paying high fees just to hold money in a bank account. That's just my 2 cents on it, you guys. Anyways, some interesting options out there. Let me know if I missed any, or let me know if you have any alternatives to these where you like to park your own cash. Hope everyone out there is having a great week. Go ahead, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and I will catch everybody on the next video.